Hi Leo, thank you for joining me on this follow-up on your trading game.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
We just recently had a webinar about how different traders adapt the future systems to their specific needs. So you attended the futures workshop, well, exactly a year ago. And
Mhm.
there's a very specific way on how you set up your trading game. If I would put a label to your trading game, I would say that you are the retired systems guy. You're a retired businessman and you've been very successful setting up and running franchise businesses, right? Now you're retired, you're at home, and you're full-time trading. You live in Montana in the US, and I think part of the year as well in Mexico. And you told me once that your success in business came from establishing and maintaining systems. So it's all about systems, right? Well, now you're trading a portfolio of different systems, stocks and options. And again, it's all about systems, right? How do you apply your systems expertise? How do you apply that with trading in the markets?
Well, actually, it goes back a long time ago. I had to learn how to proceduralize or systematize things as they got more complex. I used to manage large scale projects, and as they got larger, I had to learn. I couldn't keep it all in my head. And so I started getting into the habit of writing it down and writing procedures or putting spreadsheets together to keep track of things. And so that's always worked well for me in my consulting business. And then we owned a business. And so then I've applied that throughout the years to my stock trading and my options trading. And now I've done that after taking your course to the futures trading.
Mhm. I think you're full-time trading now for 2 years, right?
Yep.
Or I think for 10 years, I think you're trading your stocks and option systems, right?
Yep. I've been trading stocks since I was in college, but I took on options in 2012, and that's really where I started to write everything down. So I've been doing that for about 10 years. I've been interested for a long time in futures, but I really was looking for the right mentor, and that's when I ran across you.
So why have you been interested in futures? What attracted your attention there?
Well, it came about because there's some disadvantages or there's some challenges, if you will, in trading stocks or options. I trade options on equities. A lot of it is on equities. Most of the time, you can only go long. It's a little bit more challenging or difficult to go short or complicated, and I don't like that. The other thing that I don't like is there's gaps either overnight. You know, the market's closed now as we're doing this recording, and some announcement could happen overnight, and suddenly the prices move. And when I wake up in the morning, the price has maybe gone against me in a big way, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Mhm.
So what I like about futures is it's easy to go long or short. And the markets are basically a 24-hour market. And so the gap risk is really minimal.
Mhm.
So it works out much better for me.
Great, yeah. And then we have as well this selection of different asset classes, right? We trade as well US equities, futures, but if we don't
Mhm.
find them trending well enough, well, we have other options, right, to trade.
Yep, that's a great point because I exclusively trade, equity options or equities itself. And this way, with your systems, I've learned to be able to trade metals and gold and energy and even crypto. So
Mhm.
it's been very good.
So you're basically having a portfolio of systems, right? Different systems, one or several ones for stocks, several ones for options. So how do you fit the future systems? It's three of them, right? How do you fit them into your portfolio of existing systems?
Well, what I do is I have a process that I go through each day. I've already scanned the market for equities and options, and now I've added my future scanning um, to see what things are moving. And so what I do is I go through each of those and make a decision which area, equities, options, or futures, which seems to have the biggest potential. And then based on that, I'll focus my attention on that. Now, usually what I'll do, especially with futures, I'll scan, and sometimes there's maybe call it hidden opportunities, some things that are maybe setting up but not quite ready. So what I'll do is I'll set alerts for myself in the morning before maybe the market opens, the equity market opens, so that if things start moving in a certain direction or change in my direction on futures, I'll get alerts. And that'll tell me to change my attention from maybe trading equities that day to going back to futures.
Okay, so if I just translate that, if I understood it right, so you're having so many systems, right? But you don't trade them like all at the same time, because that would just be too complicated and confusing, right? So you're basically going on a day-by-day basis, or you might change even during the day, right? And you're looking from your system's perspective, okay, what system has the biggest edge now, right? And
That's
this
right.
is then what you're trading.
That's exactly right, because I couldn't keep track of all these different systems all simultaneously. And being retired, some of it is one of my goals. One of my goals of my trading game is I try to set things up so that I'm not looking at the screen all day long during the market open. I'll look from time to time. I'll do scans. I'll maybe scan a couple of times during the day. And set alerts. And if it's a quiet day and maybe nothing's going on, no alerts track, I'm not really doing that much. If it's a busy day, I'll be at the screen more.
And in that way, you'll always have good opportunities, right, here or there.
Yep. Yep. Another thing to mention also about futures is there's opportunities after hours, after the market closes for equities. If I've got some time and I've got some availability, I can sit down if I choose to do some scans in the evening and see what opportunities are there. That's an option that I don't have trading equities or options on equities.
Right. It's more flexible, right, with futures.
Right. It fits my lifestyle better.
I think you're trading the future systems as well, like if you compare it to the stocks you trade on a daily chart, or the futures you trade on the time frames, I think 15-minute, right, 5-minute. These are your preferred time frames where you execute.
Yeah, that's a good point. That was a real game changer for me, because for my equity and options, I only trade the 1-day charts. And I really didn't have any exposure trading different time frames. And it really, to be honest, it blew my mind. It was very helpful when you showed us how to look at different time frames, because there could be an opportunity on a lower time frame that might not be available on a weekly or monthly or quarterly chart. So this way I can take advantage of that with the lower time frames and futures that I couldn't with equities.
Yeah, the nice thing with these patterns is that the markets are fractal, right? And the same pattern comes up in whatever time frame, and you've chosen the time frames that fit you, right? Some other traders choose even higher time frames or go to the very low time frames, the second charts.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, let's come to the systems themselves. I mean, these are rule-based discretionary systems, right? With a specific rule set. What do you like about that?
Well, what I like is you give us a very strong foundation with clear, defined rules on what to look for when we're scanning or when we're setting up the chart, or how to manage our risk, what our profit targets are. But what's unique is you also allow for some discretion, so that with experience, you can make some judgment calls on how you might make a slight change. You might make a change in how you put your risk on, your stop on. And so for me, I need a structure to follow. And that's really what the rules serve for me. But as I'm gaining more experience, I'm realizing there's certain times when I can use a little bit of my own intuition or my own discretion.
You need a certain structure in order to actually apply your systematic approach, right?
Yep. And if I didn't have that, honestly, I think I would be lost. I've been interested in futures for a long time. They move differently than equities, and I've never really been able to understand how to look at them and how to look for those opportunities. And the rules that you give us gave me that framework.
So you said in the beginning, you said that you were looking to trade futures for quite some time. And then when you came along with the systems I teach, you decided to attend the workshop. What was it that these systems made you decide to come?
Well, to me, you have the whole package because I'm by nature, I'm a trend follower. That's a lot of what I do for equities. And so that base, you and I kind of see the world the same way, but I'm also pretty conservative. Being retired, I have to be careful about our investments. And so you're very clear about how to manage your risk, where to put the stops on, how to manage your position size. And I also like your approach, I think you call it the second mouse, where I don't just jump in at the first move that it looks like. I need to be convinced that that looks like a good opportunity. It looks like a high quality trade, a low risk idea. And if that's the case, then I'll put the trade on.
And you have, after the future systems, you've added the Forex systems as well, right? To even have an even broader range of systems available in your portfolio.
Yep, I'm just right in the middle of the Forex class and just following the same learning progression that I did with futures. I'm just about a year behind though with Forex, but enjoying it because it's very similar. The process is very similar.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? How important is the trader development process? I mean, one thing is to learn and understand, fully understand the rules, right? Another thing is to develop as a trader in executing those rules. I mean, you're already an experienced trader. So did you find, did you have some ahas, or was it kind of interesting to see how you had to develop a little bit to trade these future systems?
No, it took a while for me to integrate those. The thing that I like about the way you develop traders is it's a very logical stepwise approach. If I didn't do that, I would be overwhelmed. So what you do is you train us in by system, and then you begin to help us get to flawless execution and getting to eventually to live trading. But there's a very logical progression, and the thing that works for me is it's piecemeal approach. It's building blocks. You start with one, you master that, then you go on to another approach, then you add on this and add on this. If I didn't do that, I think I would be overwhelmed, and I would probably freeze up and not be able to fully integrate everything so that I could do live trading.
Fantastic, yeah. Anything else you would like to share?
I really appreciate I think you've exposed me to a couple of markets, Forex and futures, that I really have been interested in a long time. And what you did is put the pieces together on how I can look at the market, have a structured system to do that, and then actually take us on development to get to live trading. That's really the end game. Because I could learn this, I could read a book about it, but if I can't actually apply it, it's not really helpful. So I'm excited.
Fantastic. Right. Well, thank you very much, Leo, for having been here. I think it was very interesting to hear
Great.
what you said. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Yep.